guys, how are you? Thanks for joining me live. Thanks for those who joined me in the rebroadcast. Glad to have you. All right, I wanted to do this outside. It's absolutely beautiful outside, but they're doing construction all around me. They're building houses all around me, so it's really loud. But I have my windows open, and it feels like fall around here, and it never feels like that in August around here. Anybody else having like great weather? Where are you guys from? Are you going to answer me? Are you going to participate with me? All right. Well, my name is, hey, Heather, how are you? My name is Allison Dembski, and I help women with mindset and confidence so that they can be healthier and happier. And today my topic is adrenal fatigue. And it is something that I'm not going to claim to be expert on whatsoever. It's something that I have recently discovered that I am suffering from. So I wanted to share it with you guys because it was a major aha moment for me. I had some health things going on with me, and I could not figure out. I've been in health and fitness for a long time. Well, not for a long time, for a while now. And all of a sudden, like, everything that I had learned got flipped upside down. Nothing was working for me. So let me get into this with you guys, okay? So first of all, let me talk to you about adrenal fatigue and exactly what it is. So it's a collection of different symptoms that in all is considered like a syndrome. But yet the medical community doesn't really recognize it as a syndrome at this point. But millions of people suffer from it. It is where your adrenal glands basically don't function like they're supposed to. And most of the time it's caused by a major crisis in your life or from having extreme stress for a long time. And so like I posted this on Facebook, like if you've recently gone through a divorce, if you're going through a divorce, if you've lost a loved one, if you are a caretaker, like I'm a mom of 4 kiddos, one of my kids has autism. And so it's hugely stressful. It's a constant stress on my body, my mind to having to heal him and deal with some of the autism symptoms, and plus take care of my other 4 kiddos and make sure that they're getting what they need. So most of the time it's from a major crisis, major stress in your life. Like you could go back and go, boom, that's where it happened. That's where it all started from. Does that make sense to you guys? It can also be caused by chronic illness. So what I have found out and what I've researched is like bronchitis and pneumonia, or if you have flu on a regular, like some type of illness that you deal with on a regular basis. Like maybe Crohn's disease. If you have Crohn's disease, that's a major life-altering event right there. And that can lead to adrenal fatigue as well. So let me get to like some of my symptoms that I had, and why I started going down this path and why I started to think like there was something wrong. My major thing was I was tired, or I am tired all the time. All the time. I could sleep for 12 hours, get really good sleep, and wake up and still be tired. Still feel like I could just go right back to bed and sleep for another 4 hours. So that is a major clue that there's something wrong. You shouldn't feel that way. Another thing was when I would work out, I'd be exhausted. And I'm in the health and fitness industry, so that wasn't normal to me. What I used to, and you should, when you work out, you should feel energized. You could feel like you could take on the world. You could feel like you could move mountains after you work out. But I was exhausted. I wanted to lay down and take a nap. That's not normal as well. So those are 2 things. The third thing that was a major clue to me that there was something wrong was that I like plateaued, and it wasn't like a normal plateau because I would try and switch things up. I switched up my exercise, I switched up my eating, and I've been in exercise and nutrition long enough that I know enough of what I'm doing in exercise. Thanks for joining me. That it wasn't something new to me. I should know what to do, what to change up, what to get past a plateau. And I wasn't able to. Like, it's almost like I started gaining some weight, and especially in my midsection. And I thought, well, it's just because of stress. Well, it is, but then it went beyond that. Like, I couldn't overcome it. Oh, good. Treadmill. I love treadmill. So those are some of the major key points. Let me go over those again. Major key points of things that I've had happen to me to realize that I was suffering from adrenal fatigue or adrenal fatigue syndrome is that I would sleep, I'd get plenty of sleep, and I'd still be tired. I would be exhausted after my workouts and want to lay down and take a nap instead of feeling like I could take on anything, which is how you're supposed to feel after exercise. You should be in a great mood and you should have lots of energy. And then I start gaining weight, especially in my midsection, and almost like a bloated, not, like the cortisol, that stress hormone, when you have it for a prolonged period of time, just packs on that middle weight, that stomach weight, and it's so dangerous for you. That's where you get so many different diseases from. So that really concerned me as well. So there's some other things that maybe you might be feeling that I didn't feel. One of them is you might feel run down and overwhelmed, and you just can't get over that feeling, almost like an anxiety feeling. You have really hard time bouncing back from stressful situations or from illness. You crave salty and sweet things, and I guess I had that too, where I was craving salty and sweet things. Craving sweet things is nothing new to me, but craving salty things was kind of weird for me, and I couldn't figure that out either. You feel more awake maybe after 6 o'clock. Like, you could be exhausted all day, and then 6 o'clock runs around, and you feel like you all of a sudden have this burst of energy at a weird time at 6 o'clock. Or if you stay up after 11 o'clock, you feel like you all of a sudden have another burst of energy. Also, like in the mornings, if you need like coffee or some type of energy drink in the morning, there's like, this one's a hard one to kind of figure out because there's an addiction to those like stimulant drinks with caffeine, but then there's also feeling like you cannot physically function if you don't have those. And then the last thing was like the loss, or you can't lose weight. You're just like stuck. You're at a plateau. You have that middle belly fat that just won't budge no matter what you do. So there's also a sense of, you have a sense of like just not feeling good. You look normal. You pretty much act normal. Like, no one's going to come up to you and go, oh, you look sick. No one's going to come up to you and say, saying that you're acting weird or anything like that. But you just have this kind of this sense of just feeling, just not feeling right, just not feeling well. Almost like a gray feeling that comes over you, but not a depression. Don't get me wrong. It's not like a depression feeling. It's just kind of like this gray, like, not necessarily happy, not necessarily sad. Yeah, just kind of this overall like melancholy, almost. Am I saying that right? Ugh, I get stuck up in my words or anything. Does this help you guys? Yes, no? Thank you for the hearts. Good. And like I said, I am by all means not an expert on this. I just want to share with you guys what has happened to me and what I have discovered, and I'm hoping this really helps you too. So like I said, like the medical community does not recognize this. So there's no test that you can do that will say, yes, you have this, or no, you don't. You have to go completely off the symptoms. And thank you for the hearts. Thank you so much. Just like, and I'm very familiar with the medical community not understanding, not quite, you kind of have to be your own advocate. Has anybody else had to be their own advocate for things? So, you know, I told you I have a kiddo with autism. That's not something that you have a test for. It's just looking at your symptoms or looking at their symptoms and saying, yes, they have this, or no, they don't. It's not a test saying yes or no. I also have a kiddo with ADHD, and that's again where it's based on your instincts, your gut feeling. And if you have, oh, you do, yeah. How old's your son? Mine is 8, and we figured it out when he got diagnosed when he was 3. 4, oh, so he probably hasn't been diagnosed for very long. I know they diagnose them a lot younger now. So, I know how that you have to be your own advocate. You have to follow your gut. You know, moms of autistic kiddos know that they have to follow their gut. Like, the medical community doesn't always understand as much as they think they know. They don't, because they're not living with it. So it's the exact same thing with this adrenal and fatigue. You know, you may go to your doctor and say, I don't feel good. And, oh no, it's fine. Thank you. Sorry, I just lost my train of thought. You may sit there and tell them your symptoms, and because they don't have a test that says, yes, you have this, or no, you don't, so then it doesn't exist. Please don't be one of those that feels like it doesn't exist because the medical community doesn't have a test for it. All right, you have to be your own advocate. Stand up for yourself and do your own research to really find out. So, again, like I said, I'm not expert on this. I'm trying to learn as much as I can as fast as possible. I'm a researcher and a figure-outer. And so I'm going to share with you guys as much as I can learn. There is no quick fix for this. You do have to figure out checks and balances. There's certain ways to do exercises that can help you and hinder you when it comes to adrenal fatigue. There is supplements that you can take that can help you. And I'm going to do a whole scope on exercises that I'm figuring out that will help you or hinder you. And I'm going to do another scope on like supplements that can help you. Yes, it can. It can help and it can hinder, both. So again, I'm going to do a scope on that. Would that help you guys to do a scope on kind of what to eat and what not to eat, and supplements and things like that? Because I think those are some of the hardest things. And really, that's the only way. I mean, you have to take care of yourself. You have to slow down when you have this to take care of yourself. And it's really hard for a lot of us that have this adrenal fatigue to do that because, one, we're used to taking care of other people a lot of times. 2, we tend to be like real go-getters. We tend to like get it done and no excuses and moving forward type of personalities. So it's really hard for us to slow down and to tell ourselves like we need this to be better for ourselves and to be better for our friends and our family. It can majorly mess with you. And so some other things you might find from the adrenal fatigue would be you might be foggy headed, and that was another symptom that I've had big times where like I'll be just talking along, and that's why I have notes with me right here so that I can keep on track. I would just be talking along, and all of a sudden like it would just leave me, like things that I knew, things that I so knew that there's no excuse why it would just like leave me, and I would sit there and just ponder and think, and like it wouldn't come to me. I'm used to, you know, multitasking with my kids and having, you know, 4 kids talking in my ear at once and making dinner and trying to have different conversations with different people, and like lose your train of thought. But this was something different. This was something where it's like I lose my train of thought and not be able to get back on track. So it's a completely different type of foggy head that really messes with you, really messes with your psyche. Good. What are some things that you are doing? And how were you actually diagnosed? She was saying that, you know, she was diagnosed 7 months ago and still trying to recover. So yeah, it can really mess with you. And there's different severities of it. And depending on how severe you are, is that an online test? I bet it is. Depends on how long it's going to take you to recover. So like for me, when I did an online test, and it ranked me like moderate to severe is what it ranked me. So it's going to take me a little while to get over this. But some of the things that it messes with your emotions. Like for me, it was a major emotion thing where like to lose your train of thought, to not be able to keep on task, to just all of a sudden it's just gone. And that whole feeling of gray can mess with your emotions. It can mess with your metabolism. It messes with your psyche. It can mess with your organs too, because you're dealing with a prolonged stress so it's not good for your body. Your body is going to respond to that stress somehow, and it's not going to be in a good way. So some of the things that I have done to help me is I've started meditating. Does anybody else meditate? It's actually kind of tricky to learn how to do that because you're trying to sit there and just calm your mind. And again, for the people that deal with this, that's even harder because we're used to getting things done. We're used to usually taking care of people, or you just have so much going on in your head because of whatever the stress is, whatever the trauma that you dealt with is messing with you. There's also where people who maybe had some major surgery that happened, that yes. No, through doctor. Oh, okay, good. There is, like, if you went through like some major surgery, sometimes that can lead to adrenal fatigue as well. So there's all kinds of different things that can lead to this. So yes, I totally agree. And I know there's a special diet for the adrenal fatigue and Hashimoto's. So I'm going to be, as I learn more about that, and feel free to connect with me. I'd love to connect with you. I'm sorry I didn't catch your name. To talk about more, because I am up to totally learning more about this and passing it on and helping you guys out as I'm figuring this out as well. So does anybody have any questions for me at all? I really, really appreciate you guys giving me your time. If this was helpful to you, I would love it if you guys could give me hearts, because that lets me know that this is helpful to you, that this is a topic that is valid for you. Diet, caffeine, and nightshade vegetables. Oh, hey, Harmony. How are you? I didn't realize that was you. So yes, I know, like, for eating wise, roots and fruits are the best when it comes to this. Hey. And getting rid of your caffeine and getting plenty of rest and all those things. And again, so Harmony, we're going to talk, and I know how to get a hold of you. So you and me are going to talk. So that we can figure this out. But I really appreciate you guys connecting with me and hanging out here with me. And if you have any questions, if you are watching this on the rebroadcast, you can tweet me and ask me questions. You can always contact me. You can reach me by email at AllisonDembski@yahoo.com. It's in my bio. And anywhere you can find me as Allison Dembski. I'm on Twitter as Allison Dembski, Instagram, Facebook. You can find me in any of those places. And I'd love to connect with you. If you have any more questions, if you have suggestions for me, I'm open for suggestions as well. Because like I said, I am not expert. I am learning this and I'm figuring this out. So I appreciate you joining me. Share this. If you think there's anyone else that comes to mind that you think might need this info, please share the scope with them. Just tweet it out. You just swipe to the side and hit tweet. If this does resonate with you as well, like this is more info that you need to know, you can swipe to the right as well and you can follow me. So thanks for joining me. I had fun hanging out with you and hopefully I'll see you again really soon. All right. Thanks guys. Talk to you later. Bye. Thanks for the hearts.